The prayer today, dear Lord, I put everything in your hands. Today, my family, my health, my home, my security, and all of my worries. Thank you for carrying my burdens. Amen.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to now do public comment. If you've signed up in the back and you'd like to approach the microphone, you can talk about anything that's on today's agenda. Do we have anyone? Yes, sir. You could sign up afterwards. And just a reminder, it has to be items on the agenda for today.
I haven't looked at the agenda yet.
Okay. There's some in the back.
No.
No. But you are welcome to make comments at the end, which is anything, it doesn't have to be connected to the agenda. So there is a comment period at the end if you'd like to make a comment about anything else. The initial comment period for the public in the beginning is to make comments about things that are on the agenda with the intention of potentially swaying the commissioner's decisions on those items. So giving the public an opportunity to make points that the commissioners may want to consider. So is there anyone that would like to make a comment about anything on the agenda today? Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I have. I don't have a report today either.
Okay. Items 2 and 3, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of October 16th and October 21st.
I'll move to approve 2 and 3.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'll just include my edits. Thank you.
Call for the vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWack.
Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Adrian Gorton with the Commissioner's Office. Today's financials include a supplemental in the Commissioner's Reserve Fund for Phase 2 starter appropriations for 2026 to cover change orders, new equipment, or other purchases. There's a cash transfer from Community Corrections Fund to the Probation Services Fund to reimburse monies used to cover payroll. There's a transfer from the General Fund to Family First Council for January through March 2026 commitment. There's a transfer from the Commissioner's Office to the Unemployment Rotary Fund. Among the encumbrances are travel requests from the Common Pleas Court to attend the Supreme Court of Ohio Judicial College Project Management course in Columbus, Ohio, the Domestic Relations and Juvenile Spring Seminar in Westerville, Ohio, and the 2026 Ohio Court Reporters Association Annual Conference in Dublin, Ohio. There's also then announced from the Common Pleas Court to Ravenwood Mental Health Center for Climb Jail group sessions from September and November of 2025 that were not previously encumbered. Among the vouchers is $26,910 from ADP to DocuSign Incorporated for electronic signature software renewal for the county. Also $79,360.11 from the engineer's office to Morton Salt Incorporated for road salt.
I move to approve the financials.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeWack.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Vicki Clark. I'm the CEO and president of Ravenwood Health. I think that might be one of the last times I say that. If you don't know Ravenwood, we're the largest behavioral health agency in the county. We have about 250 employees and serve about 4,000 people a year. We do work with the commissioners on our Geauga Youth Center. We help run that program, which you own, and we work with JFS. About 2 years ago, I started looking at retirement, and as part of that process, Ravenwood their board members did a succession planning process, and in that we started with looking at who would make the most sense, what kind of characteristics would we really want in the next leader. So we did that process, and it was very helpful. Simultaneous with that, Ravenwood had been working closely with Community Counseling Center of Ashtabula over probably the last 10, 12 years on a number of different projects. We really came to feel like we were sister agencies. We ran a lot of the same programs and had some complementary programs. We share a lot of the same clients. So, 2 years ago, when we did that succession planning process and really looked at the characteristics we wanted in our next leader, we felt that the director, the CEO of community counseling, really fit that well, and that is Paul Bellino. So as we move forward, we had been talking, after all these years of working closely together, that we're two small to medium-sized agencies, and it really made sense for a lot of reasons to someday look at a merger. So as it all kind of came together, we recognized that Paul would be a wonderful new leader for us, and it was time to move forward with the merger, and you've probably seen some news about that. Both those things come true on February 2nd, next week. We are going to be fully merged. We'll remain Ravenwood Health, that's our title, and Paul Bellino, who I'd like to introduce now, will be our new CEO.
Thank you, Vicki, and thank you, commissioners, for this opportunity to formally meet you. Excited to be here in I'm getting used to the Ashtabula County. Excited to be here in Geauga County as we spread Ravenwood Health across Ashtabula County in Northeast Ohio. And excited to meet all the stakeholders in Geauga County and look forward to working relationships with all of you. Thank you for having me.
Coming in.
In Ashtabula, how many people do you serve approximately?
Oh, we have about 4,500 annually, so the combined agency will be well over 8,000.
How many employees?
We'll be bringing 120 employees into Ravenwood Health's paying system next week. So we'll be approximately 370 employees, approaching 400 with an annual budget of about $32 million.
It'll be a big Groundhog Day for you guys.
You know, that has been brought up more than once about that.
I thought it was an original joke.
But no, it's original in this context, and yeah, you know, and it is a balance right now as we balance honoring Vicki's 40 years with the organization as well as what our next steps forward will be. So very exciting time.
Well, speaking of Vicki's 40 years at the organization, we have a resolution today to honor you.
Oh, you're going to make me cry.
That's okay. Is there a motion for a resolution?
I'll move to approve the resolution.
Second.
Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes. Let us sign this and stay right there.
Okay. When's your official last day, Vicki?
February 1st.
Okay.
I'm going to stay around to consult to some
Okay,
degree,
very
but
good.
I am done with the CEO part, and that will be okay.
I'm sure they'll be glad to have you around though for that transition.
Absolutely.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Do you have big plans for your retirement?
Lots of sunshine and beaches and hanging with my grandson, so.
So you look back, it probably went pretty quick too, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Where did the time go?
Yes. Yeah. 40 years is surreal, really, when you
Yeah.
look at that. Yeah.
Mhm.
It goes very quick.
Cool.
You want to do a photo?
Love to. Get my phone. Christy, would you send that to me? I didn't bring my phone. How can you go anywhere without a phone?
That's okay though, you know? It's a good thing not to have a phone sometimes. Congratulations.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah.
Good morning,
We
Commissioners.
have a resolution for you too, Shane.
Okay.
Right.
You have the most items on the agenda today, so we wanted to pass something in your
Winning.
memory.
Winning today. Shane Ajar with the Engineer's Office, here to present a few project resolutions for 2026. Item number 6 on the agenda, the county engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute resolution 26-010 to improve various sections of county roads by applying pavement markings year 2026. This is our annual paving, striping program. We do between 80 and 100 miles of the county road system. It varies. In the Amish communities, we do them more frequently. They tend to wear off the edge lines rather quickly. And then in some of our less traveled county roads, it'll go 3 or 4 years. But Auburn Road and Bainbridge Road, and those are definitely at least every 3 years. And so this is kind of a broad county-wide program that we do on a 3-year cycle. So every year we do about a third of the roads.
I'll move to approve number 6.
Second?
Any discussion? I just have a couple of questions. Is this the same company you used last year?
It'll be a public bid. There are 2 major companies in the region that do that, Aeromark and Oglesby. So, and there are other companies out there that do that, but those are the 2 that we see bid every year.
And then with this bid price, would you extend that to the other entities, political subdivisions?
We will. In years past, we tried to do a joint project where they were rolled into the project, and it became fiscally very cumbersome. But the contractors have been very gracious to extend similar pricing to the townships by PO. So once the contracts are secure, we extend invitations to the various townships to reach out directly to the contractor and, get their own contracts, if you will, so that it's done at the same time with a cost benefit to them.
Right. Thank you. Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey. Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 7, County Engineer's Office requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-011 to improve the replacement of the Bascom Road Bridge structure BR 0069-0101 in Hamden Township. This is a small concrete structure that is at the end of its service life, and the township is looking to improve Bascom Road in the next couple of years. So we're going to get ahead of them and get the bridge replaced, so when they go to pave the road, it's just a simple operation for them.
I move to approve 7.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 8, County Engineer's Office requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-012 to improve Messenger Road, County Highway 31, Sections B and C in Auburn and Newberry Township. Pretty straightforward resurfacing there.
I move to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 9, the County Engineer's Office requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-013 to improve Mumford Road, County Highway 24, Sections E and F in Troy Township. Similar to Mumford, this is a straight mill and fill resurfacing project. And this will match up to the section that was part of the countywide safety program a couple years ago. It's from Patch Road North. So this will complete from 422 all the way up to 168.
So I'll move to approve number 9.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 10, the Engineer's Office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-014 to improve Bass Lake Road, County Highway 23, Sections D through G in Munson and Newberry Township. And I was discussing with Christine before the meeting, this is actually 2 projects, but 1 continuous sections of road from Butternut all the way up to the city corp limit. The southern half will be to Mayfield Road, will be locally funded, and then the northern half is subject to Ohio Public Works grant funds. But one resolution to cover that entire road section.
Is everything north of Butternut?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll move to approve number 10.
Second?
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Thank you. Item number 11, the county engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute resolution 26-015 to improve Bainbridge Road, County Highway 11, sections A through H in Auburn and Bainbridge Township. A little backstory on this. This this resolution is to authorize work on all of Bainbridge Road from the county line all the way to Washington Street. This will include the replacement of the bridge just east of the county line and some various culverts in 26 and 27, and then will lead to a full resurfacing in 2028.
I'll move to approve number 11.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes.
All right, thank you. The last item I have on here today, the county engineer, item number 12, county engineer's office requesting the board approve and execute resolution 26-016 to improve Auburn Road, County Highway 4, sections Q in Chardon Township. And this is partnered with another item on the agenda that we already submitted a resolution for earlier in 2025 for a Thwing Auburn connection. So from the western county line with Lake County all the way to Auburn on Thwing, and then Auburn from Thwing to 6.
I move to approve number 12.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So the next one is the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 26-017, objecting to the exemption for the number of years in excess of 10 and the exemption for the percentage of the improvement to exempted in excess of 75% relating to the proposed TIF ordinance for the Heritage Point Incentive Districts number 1 through 5, permanent parcel numbers 19072972, 190445150, and 190708000 as such parcels may be further subdivided, combined, recombined, renumbered, or replatted in accordance with RC 5709.40E2.
So my understanding is that this resolution wouldn't stop or oppose the development. It would just preserve the county's limited statutory rights under Ohio law. Is that your understanding, Christie?
Yes, and then my understanding is that you will also be able to then, by going back and forth, you can have a conversation then with the village on possibly,
Well, negotiating what, the abatement would be and the length of time and all that stuff. Just exactly what we did with Chardon about 3 or 4 years ago, so.
that was Thistle Creek.
So is there a motion on item 13?
Sure, I'll move to approve 13.
Second.
Any more discussion? Call for vote?
Commissioner Spitaleri.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeBoer.
Aye.
Middlefield by the end of the week.
Item number 14, board discussion. I do not have any items for board discussion.
I just had one. I wanted to, talk about the letter that we got last night from NOACA regarding that. We had the process last week, and obviously something must not have been either correct, or I'm not really completely clear on what happened with that.
I can clarify if you want, Commissioner.
Sure.
So when the NOACA board approved several bylaws changes, and so it was the board's understanding that some of those bylaws changes only need to be approved by the board of directors of NOACA, whereas others need to be approved first by the board of directors of NOACA, and then later ratified by the counties. And so that was part of, I believe, what Mr. Claypool is objecting to in his lawsuit against NOACA and Commissioner DeVorek and myself. And I think in abundance of caution, NOACA decided, hey, we'll just have the counties ratify everything. So it wasn't, we did what NOACA asked us to do as far as ratifying those changes, and then they just said, hey, we also decided to ratify that other change as well, even though even though it was basically out of an abundance of caution, not that because it seems like it needs to be done.
So I guess my question, it sounds like, you're somewhat familiar with this. So when I know that the first round that came around, I'm not sure what the date was, that never was ratified by all the counties, is that correct?
So that's correct. Yeah, so there's one part of the bylaw where it specifies how the board seats are used for each county. So for example, for Lake County, it says commissioner, 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 county engineer, and then Lake Tram representative.
Okay.
And so for us, it was just commissioner, commissioner, commissioner. And so we wanted to change that to commissioner, commissioner, engineer. And so that.
When you say we, who is we? Because I was never involved in any kind of discussion about that.
Yeah, I think Commissioner Dvorak was the one that originated it. I'm not quite sure what happened. I mean, this is a subject to litigation, so probably not best to discuss
Well,
it, but.
I guess I'm not in the middle of any litigation myself,
Yes,
but
I
I guess
understand.
my question is that, I think that, should we not be operating as a board? If Commissioner Dvorak or you had approached them on that, it should be the will of the board to be able to have that discussion with NOACA, because, I mean, to be totally honest with you, it was one thing that completely caught me off guard, is that all of a sudden my seat is in jeopardy. And I have no idea that that's even, going on. Unfortunately, the first round of it, I think that Lake County never ratified it. They didn't do anything with it, and I believe that
Right.
Medina didn't do anything with it.
Right.
And I know that as soon as it came to this board, I was out of town that following week, and you and Commissioner Dvorak immediately moved to get that done. But I guess my question is like, how did we come to this, that we never even had a discussion about our and I've kind of really taken some time to kind of look at this historical data after last week's outpour of community concern, and just also, myself being completely removed in a sense from anything, that has to do with NOACA, or me being able to represent, the constituents of this county that voted for me. And I guess, I'm trying to balance here, like, how did we come up with this? Because I think that there's some concern that I was never involved in any conversation as far as this whole thing of approaching NOACA to make this change. And it just really kind of struck me, more and more as it grew. And I think last week was really a reality check when I saw so many people here that, I'm basically silenced, and I don't have I really don't have a dog in the fight anymore. And so I guess I'd just like to have some questions answered as far as like, how did we come to that of asking NOACA for this to happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be happy to answer those questions, but because of the pending litigation, I think it would be inappropriate for us to have that discussion right now.
Right, but you'd
I mean,
agree,
once
I
that's
never
dismissed,
was
I
never
have no,
part of it.
I don't know what
discussion.
conversations
I mean,
you have with Ms. Galucci. I have no idea what kind
No,
of
I
conversations
have
you
not had
with
any
her.
conversation, but I'm saying as far as this board, we
Yeah.
never discussed this. I mean, we never, it was never brought up in public that we wanted to approach NOACA to do this
I
kind of a
mean,
change.
it was discussed publicly during the ratification process, so it was discussed at that.
But that was after the fact.
That was after it was voted by the board of directors. That's
Correct. And that was
Yeah.
after, I'm not sure if it was you or, Commissioner Dvorak or both of you that had brought this to to NOACA's attention, but like I said, prior to that, I had absolutely zero involvement, and never was there a discussion.
Yeah, I mean, you've had an opportunity to be involved in NOACA, and you've kind of chosen
I've
not
been
to
involved
be.
in NOACA probably more than you have been involved in NOACA, because,
Well, I've gone to more NOACA meetings than you have.
and I have
in one
had.
year.
Right, well,
Yeah.
I've had a representative committed to NOACA that has probably had, more years of experience in the NOACA, in the whole NOACA enterprise than all three of us here combined. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm struggling with it because I feel like I guess at the end of the day, you know, you have to look at it as, is it illegal, immoral, or corrupt of what we're doing? And I feel like there's a potential that something happened without me being put in that conversation to be able to move forward to NOACA to ask for us, specifically my seat, to be removed. And I think that you would take it just as personal as I probably am taking it, is that I have been basically removed and my alternate has been removed. And there would have never been this scenario if you or Commissioner Dvorak would have approached, would not have taken the steps to approach NOACA to do this. And it didn't work the first time, but now all of a sudden we have another roundabout that supposedly, with what I'm seeing last night, and I'm not an attorney, so I'm not going to comment on it. And I think that this is probably something that we should get our legal counsel to look at it too, because, you know, NOACA puts this thing out last week and we vote on it. We never, you know, and it was a little bit troubling that I think that our legal counsel should have given us some advice on that too, rather than us, you know, knee-jerking this thing and just putting it to a vote. And now it comes up with another side of this that we're basically dealing with, that they're, you know, it just doesn't pass the smell test. And I just think that we really need to ask some questions. And I'm just feeling like, I feel like there's things that don't want to get spoken about because of the fact that something either was not done correctly, or that you guys truly don't want me involved that bad. So I guess I'm not going to get an answer to the question of how we came to this of NOACA getting asked by you, but I think that silence is not the right answer right now, when I was never once involved in the decision process to pursue NOACA to take me off of that board.
Well, it wasn't, NOACA didn't take you off the board. We just changed what our seat makeup was. And then this board democratically decided who got to use those seats.
Well, if I could add, you know, I know that even the day that the board voted on moving forward with this other resolution, I believe that you even said that you had really not an interest to be there, right?
To be where, and no, I mean, it's definitely not one of my favorite
Right,
meetings to go to. I don't like
But
going
if that was the
downtown.
case, then why couldn't you have just, especially after everybody's asking, to understand and listen to the people that, you know, probably voted for you, to say, hey, you know, I understand that they asked for Skip to be able to continue it, or to just push back and say, listen, people want this, and just work with them. But instead, you know, it is what it is. I've gotten hundreds of calls on it. I've gotten people stopping by to see me, to talk about it, and I think it's just unfortunate, because it really, I don't think we're serving our people of this county correctly. And I'm not gonna, I understand that there's litigation, but I just think that, you know, there's questions that I would like to have answered too. And I don't seem to feel that I'm gonna ever get those questions answered. That as one of three on this board, I should have been made aware, and I should have at least have been given the opportunity to answer or ask a question when you guys approach NOACA, because we basically represent as a group to NOACA, and you know, we're one body that the three of us should be working together for the betterment of Geauga. So that's it.
Any other items for board discussion? Okay, moving on to public comment. Those wishing to make a comment or ask a question on matters of concern, please raise your hand to be called upon. Begin by stating your full name and address, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment or ask a question, and you're kindly asked to refrain from disorderly or disruptive conduct. Would anyone like to speak? Yes, Mr. Clayton.
Skip Claypool, Chesterland, Ohio. Ralph is one of the people that voted for you and representing, I believe, a number of people out there who voted for you. I think you have legal cause for action. If you look at the statutes in the state of Ohio, each commissioner is equal in their authority. Two commissioners cannot undermine the authority of the third commissioner. And so I think there's cause, and I think you should look at that. I stand here in no surprise, in opposition to Article 10 ratification. As Carolyn and Jim might remember, in the January 9th meeting, I mentioned on the board, I was at the board meeting, to the attorney and to NOACA that their action to ratify or to take action on Article 9 I thought was improper and illegal, and I said that publicly at that time. They ignored me and they moved forward with their current board approval process of Article 9. Now it appears they might have seen the error in their ways, and it looks like, at least it appears that way to me, they're making a correction in trying to get a 5-county ratification, and I think that's in part to the lawsuit that I filed. Thank God for the thousands of dollars that I'm spending. It might have had a positive impact. But with that said, setting that aside, I have here a case for change. I'm going to give Christy a copy of that. I'm going to give a copy of it to the news media. It presents the case on why we might want to use a different alternative to an MPO, forming an MPO with Lake County. And what it has in it is a $7 million number that we would have as a takeaway that we would share with Lake County from year to year. That number comes from a cost model ODOT helped me to develop when I was a county commissioner. There's a whole bunch of other reasons why we might want to separate and become a separate MPO. I think it's at least worth consideration. So, Carolyn and Jim, I'm going to ask you to do this. Read Ephesians 4:32, and then I'm going to ask you to look at this case. I get it. You don't like me. I'm going to ask you for the good of the citizens of Geauga County, overlook the emotion that you have toward me and look for the good that may be in this case. And it's at least worth considering that the things that I have in this case. And there's a lot more detail and a lot more that I can present. But we can't let emotion override reason in this situation. NOACA has a big detrimental impact on our county, and that's the only reason I spend the time that I spend on this. Trust me, I'd rather be doing a lot of different things with my time than spending time with NOACA and wasting it there. But all that said, I would ask this board to not approve the ratification for Article 10 because I think it's detrimental. I don't assume that that's going to happen, but I would ask that you do that. And I'll present this case to the board, and hopefully you'll at least consider it. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Tiffany Broadbent from Newberry. I have not seen this letter from NOACA, so if I misstate something, I hope you can correct me. I know some things you might not want to answer because of litigation, but from my understanding, it seems that NOACA is now saying they want you to ratify something that they didn't think needed to be ratified before. Is that right? Is there a timeline for when you're supposed to make a decision about whether to ratify this that you could share with us?
We just received this last night. But, I mean, it's kind of an ASAP thing.
So should we expect that you would be having discussion and moving forward with this decision maybe next week, the week after?
I left it on my table. I think that if you have it there, I believe that they said by Wednesday, to have it done ASAP for a meeting, from what I understand that they're having on either a meeting or something on Wednesday, and I'm not really sure what that
I don't
was.
see that, Commissioner. I respectfully ask that Geauga County ratify the amendment by placing this item on your county's agenda for action as soon as possible.
Okay.
Once the action is complete, please send a copy of your authorizing resolution.
Okay.
For other record for your, but I might be missing something, but I don't see anything about.
Thank you. So should we assume that this will be put on the agenda at some time soon and that we would be able to hear your deliberations about it? All right, so proactively now, for whenever it comes up, because I might not be able to come to the next meeting, this citizen right here and many of us want you to not ratify this, please, take the turn that you've been given the chance to take here, and don't let NOACA do this. We already have so many misgivings about whether or not we truly are represented there on that board. And then we hear things about, two commissioners bringing something up without the other commissioner having a chance to discuss. It just takes us farther and farther away from feeling comfortable and feeling like we're represented there. I really, really would urge you to please vote not to ratify this. And if I have the opportunity at a future meeting, maybe I'll discuss it more then, but I want to get that chance in now. Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Just before anyone says anything, I think it would be helpful for us if you, rather than just saying don't ratify it, to say why, and to why with facts, it does X, Y, Z, and not, it's gonna do whatever, some expression, to what you can point to actual language in the amendment and what you believe that does. I think that's more helpful for I think your period's done now, unfortunately, but you can come, you feel free to email us with any additional.
Asking me, may I answer that now, or is my period done?
I think your time was already up, so we'll move on to the next commenter. But feel free to email us or come back or whatever for additional.
Hi, Christine Stenzel-Monson.
Can you go to the microphone, please, for the people that watch on the video?
Christine Stenzel-Monson. The reasons are everything that Ralph just spent 10 minutes reiterating over and over. Those are the reasons why we want to not hear you vote. We want to hear why. You're saying why. Here's the reason why we want to hear. We want to hear why you would make a decision without Ralph or without Skip or without anybody. And I don't know why you're puzzled, but the thing is...
No, that's not what the amendment does.
The thing
I don't
is,
understand what you're talking
okay,
about.
this whole thing that was written, custom made to eliminate Skip. It's very clear to see. If I walked in to this county from California, yes, it's clearly written to eliminate Skip. You two pick some other alternatives. This is at the root of what this is today.
That's not what that Article
But
9 does.
but if you're going
Would it be helpful for me to read it? We could pause for time so I could read. Did you look at the amendment to Article 9?
I'm going back to what happened last meeting.
Okay, but that's done.
So that was already voted, so now you were getting more specific in case that didn't clinch the deal, that we're putting more specifics on it. And that's what Ralph just said. He wasn't involved in any discussion. And I don't know what,
think you guys understand what Article 9, the amendment does. That's why I'm just trying to make sure your comments are pointed at what we'd actually be voting on.
We want to be apprised of what is happening, basically, as you go through every step of this, not just come to a meeting and you take a vote. And nothing was discussed, as Ralph stated. Everything just happens without anyone hearing what's happening. And as Tiffany mentioned, we would like to hear what's happening as your constituents. So I don't know how much clearer I can be.
I'm very puzzled by what you're talking about in regard to Article 9. So, all that Article 9 says, so the way that bylaws currently are is that if Geauga wants to change who's on our board, who our makeup is, we have to have every other county has to agree to that.
I
Not just
understand.
as the board of directors, but then they have to ratify us. So this gives Geauga County more autonomy because it allows us to choose our delegates. That's giving us more power in our county, not less power in our county. And in the same way, it gives every county more power within their own county to make decisions about their county. So what this does and what you're talking about, those things are divorced from one another.
I don't see how they're divorced because we had 3 commissioners to start out with. Ralph appointed someone. This is going back in history again, and I think my 3 minutes are probably coming to an end. But then it got so specific that Skip was written out of the equation, and now we have to have 5 counties unanimously approve this.
Time is up.
Okay.
I guess I just got to, chirp in on this one, in the sense of how it gives our counties more power. It doesn't. It totally took me out of the mix. Because, and what's bad about this too, is that, you saw the scenario last week that I pretty much was taken out but what does the future of the commissioner's offices within those 5 counties, whether it's us, Lake County, Medina County, Lorain County, how do they then, figure out and work with that when they basically, we're setting a precedence that you could have two commissioners, in a similar situation like this that come in and want to try to silence one of the other commissioners that's standing up for the people, and it's real easy to happen, as you saw last week. I have no more dog in the fight at NOACA of having a representative that, speaks out and basically brings things to the table. So I don't see how this has actually strengthened the power of the commissioners, but I feel that it's a temporary fix for commissioners that want the power to control things in their view right now. But it's a dangerous road to be on down the road, and it's a terrible precedence to set.
I mean, but we're a 3-member board, so sometimes there's gonna be one person out, and that's been me, I think, more often than any other commissioner. So you have this idea that you're the odd man out on everything, but I mean, I think I've voted alone more often than anyone else this past year. So that's just how a 3-person board works. That's how a 5-person board works. It's how any board works, is that sometimes people don't get what they want, but the majority wins, and the minority still gets to be heard. That's how a meeting works.
I think that I struggle with that, because the reality is you probably are saying the majority of your no votes that it's, that Commissioner Dvorak and I agreed on with similar things like the airport, the air conditioning unit, of things that, we saw the same light on and made those decisions, that you basically chose to feel that the airport is, the bad sheep in the house, and you're voting no on all of that. But yet I've seen it where, so let's not take this out of context. Let's keep it into reality is that you were elected as commissioner, I was elected as commissioner, Jim Dvorak was elected as commissioner.
Yes.
That we should have had a group conversation in public about the approach to go to NOACA to try to change something. It should not have been a situation that the two of you backdoored me and went down there to do this. And I sometimes question the integrity of that also, because how did that happen? I don't know, but I could tell you this, I was never involved in that conversation. So it's concerning, and it's just, and as far as we should, all 3 of us, I would not want to render your position as commissioner for you to be able to make a choice of who your alternate is. I don't feel that that's right for me to hamper your decision, just like you should respect me and not hamper my decision. And ratifying this thing next week, and what we did last week, pretty much whatever we want to say, it basically took the legs out from under me, and here I sit.
Ma'am?
Kristen Hall, Bainbridge. Everything I've heard so far from here and from Ralph, I agree with, and I find it very concerning that at least twice, Carolyn, and maybe someone else has said that we've done everything that NOACA asked us to do. And a lot of us were here last week, spoke up, but we're not heard. So that is very concerning. I don't know the ins and outs of the legal things, but this Article 9 sounds like it's trying to pigeonhole us into not being able to make any changes for what we want. It's all coming top down, and the sovereignty of Geauga is being affected. So please, hear us. Yes. Thank you.
What we just heard from Commissioner Brakey were a series of evasive arguments, and I'm frustrated by that. Conflating a vote as a board member with changing bylaws to silence somebody are 2 completely different issues. If Commissioner Spitaleri is presented with an issue and has opportunity to vote, that's one thing. If he is summarily dismissed from a role via changes to bylaws, that's something else entirely. Prior to that, Ms. Stenzel came to the microphone with a question about the result. And from the public perspective, We're looking at our representatives and the impact that bylaw changes have. To say that something in Article 9 doesn't specifically reference Skip Claypool and his elimination is evasive. The result of the changes that you're contemplating are the removal of Skip Claypool. Answer the questions more directly, please. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Oh, go ahead. Ma'am, you could go ahead. Ma'am, you're already up. Go ahead.
First, I want to thank you for this public comment period because I've been to meetings before where there was none, so I really appreciate this. My name is Carol Roberts. Good morning. I live in Munson Township, and I've been part of Munson Township for 15 years. I'm here today to urge you to vote against the changes to Article 4 and 9 of the NOACA bylaws. Over the years, our county has sent far more of our tax dollars to NOACA than we ever receive in return. We end up financing projects for Geauga County, not our own county. NOACA is not in Geauga County's interests. And there are many more things about NOACA that are not in the interests of Geauga County residents that time does not allow me to mention. The Planning Commission members all voted in unison to recommend leaving NOACA. I urge you to heed their recommendations. Commissioner Brackey, 2 years ago, I asked you why you were running for this office of commissioner. You told me that you wanted to serve and you wanted to give back to the community. I ask you now to do that. Serve the interests of the citizens of this great Geauga County and no one else. Vote against these changes to Article 4 and 9 to the NOACA bylaws and restore Commissioner Spitaglieri's position as his own representative to NOACA. And Commissioner Dvorak, I urge you now to do the same. Please vote in the interests of the citizens of Geauga County. Thank you very much.
Good morning. John Shipatello, 8540 Pine Hollow Drive, and that's in Russell Township. Change the subject, property taxes, which may seem like a lesser matter based upon the discussion I heard today, but for us retirees living on fixed incomes, it is a major concern. And what brought my wife and I here this morning is really a question, and I'll tell you what I'd like to hear from this board. Based upon very limited information that was put out in December that I read, that the county found itself with a $15 million surplus, which was way above the $6.7 million that was expected. And in light of that much larger surplus, that there was proposed eliminating the child services portion of the tax bill, which would result in a reduction of $1.7 million. So I read that and I tell my wife about it, and I'm like, we have a $15 million surplus that's more than double what the county expected, and they're proposing giving back $1.7 million. I'm happy for that, but my question is, why not more? Or is there some use that you find is so important that the county needs to hang on to that? What from the limited information I was able to read in the article, seemed like it was not expected or planned for. And call me cynical, but I'm the type that thinks if government has extra money, they can find things to do with it. But as a senior citizen, and I used to make fun of the seniors that were complaining about the property taxes. But now that I'm in those shoes, I can tell you, my property taxes are my #1 bill. And I have a limited amount of funds, and when the largest percentage is going to property taxes, which took a big hit upwards last year, I'm looking for any reduction we can get. So either please explain to me why you need to hang on to the extra or why it's impossible to give it back. I'll throw one out there. Another bill I got was I'm going to have to pay $100 to inspect my septic. My septic is perfectly fine. I don't need to pay $100.
Sir, your time's up.
Oh, those are good questions, and that's something I know I've been working with Amy about for this year. Being my first year, I was caught off guard by that amount of carryover. What we ran up against is, so some levies are qualified and some levies are they unqualified or non-qualified? I always say it wrong.
You're saying it right.
Either way, unqualified or non-qualified? Non-qualified, all right. See, it should be unqualified, but some levies are qualified, others are non-qualified. The qualified levies have state funding attached with them. So if we give that money back, if we don't collect that levy, we also give a windfall to the state. So there is, so I think our only levy that we could suppress without giving that money to the state was that child services levy. That's correct, Adrian?
There are other unqualified levies,
but they're not under our.
GFS was unique in that it is supported by two separate levies, one in each category. So we opted to go with a department that had more than one source of revenue, and we went with the unqualified levy in order to get the full amount of benefit.
But I thought the only one under our hiring authority was that JFS levy.
Well, there's the Department on Aging one as well, so.
That one's also?
But they only have one.
Yeah, they only have one levy.
Aging only has one levy, Job and Family Services has two levies, and they have one of each, that's what Adrian was mentioning.
Yeah.
So it was, if you look at having two versus one, Job and Family Services was the one that was looked at years ago, when the first time that it was
I thought
suspended.
aging was a qualified levy. My understand, maybe I don't understand this as well as I thought I did, but my understanding was we had one levy that where we could suppress it and not give money back to the state, and that's what we did. We fully suppressed that. In the past, I think it was partially suppressed. So that's what we did, but Amy and I have been working on some ideas of getting ahead of that faster this year and making sure people get more of their money in their pockets. And because my property bill exploded this year. I'm in Russell like you are. We got that police one went on, the West G, they had two levies that were suppressed. They're back on our tax bill. We have the parks levy that passed. So that's the other thing, folks, stop voting yes on levies, because we can suppress things we can try all we can in the county, but when people keep voting yes, yes, yes on levies, your tax bills are gonna go up.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. We have about 7 minutes left, so we can take one more speaker after you.
Linda Reddick from Newberry, Ohio. I was here last week as well as this week, and I have kind of a question. Have you ever heard a positive reinforcement for NOACA wanting? I heard all last week, other than the people on the board. What happened last week, you just really showed a dysfunctional board on NOACA, the commissioner board. You've now voted one person off, someone else in his stead, and he could have been, and I think that the engineer would be a great alternative, but to take the place of a sitting commissioner was pretty despicable, I think. Last week, nobody voted in favor of NOACA. Everybody voiced concern. I'm another concern. How you represent me matters a lot. I've listened to some of the NOACA meetings. Their plans do not reflect what is best for Geauga. It reflects what's best for Cuyahoga, and that's a concern. We want to keep Geauga. And you ran committing to do that as well. And so I want to encourage you to do that. Don't vote off a sitting member of the commissions that we put in office because of what he said he was going to do for us. Instead, you remove him and put someone else that we have no idea what he even stands for and the important things to him. That concerns me. Thank you.
Sir.
I'm Brad Lynette. I live in Geauga County. Don't get down on me. I hate NOACA too. But I bring you news from Washington. NOACA is being defunded, and just like any governments that still participate in the DEI, they will lose federal funding. Anybody who still participates in any Green New, fill in your own adjective, will also lose federal funding. So if you guys want to keep supporting NOACA, you're going to lose your funding for all this stuff here if there's any federal funding involved in it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. Item 16, Jessica.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I'm requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the employment of a public employee pursuant to ORC 121-22G1.
Second.
Okay. Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore.
Yes.
And who's going in with us today, Jessica? Looks
County
like Mark,
Administrator.
Amy.
Mark.
Okay.
Just the vice.
Okay, we're back from executive session
10:38.
at 10:38, and we have some action.
Yes, the Department on Aging is requesting the board approve the voluntary disability separation request in accordance with OAC 123-1-30-02 for Mindy Hudak, Information and Referral Assistant.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore.
Yes.
The second action, the Department on Aging is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of Information and Referral Assistant, number 1017, at grade 5, step 4. This position will remain posted until filled.
I move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item number 17, the Commissioner's Office, you're good, Jess. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the board, oh, do you have one more?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're coming with me. Number 17, the Commissioner's Office is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of considering the purchase of property for public purposes if premature disclosure of information would give an unfair, competitive, or bargaining advantage to a person whose personal private interest is adverse to the general public interest pursuant to ORC 121.22G2. And, go ahead. Sorry.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for vote.
Commissioner Spudler.
Aye.
Commissioner Brackey.
Aye.
Commissioner DeVore.
Yes.
And I will have Gina Hofstetter, Jessica Bolt, and myself join you for this discussion.
Is Mark going in?
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing fire estates and stuff like that, today, they all went back to the barn and
Oh, yeah.
do a little bit of that, and you're out there for 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Christy, we're back.
I have you returning at 10:55.
No action. Okay.
I do not have anything else.
You're good?
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is the auditor coming in here then?